Hello and welcome to episode 63 of the Made by Mumino podcast. My name is Catherine and this is mostly a knitting podcast, although I do sometimes talk about spinning and weaving, and I have both of those today. So yes, welcome to you. A very warm welcome back if you've been here before, and a huge welcome to you if this is your first time listening to my wittering. So I'm originally from Wales in the UK, but I live permanently in Germany with my partner, who's from this area. And I think I've been living here for about 10 years now. And I live in a city called Mönchengladbach, which is not too far away from Dusseldorf, not too far away from the Dutch border. So that kind of little corner of Germany. So today I've got some finished objects to show you, which I'm very excited about. What else have I got to talk about? Oh, I'll come to it. I'll think of it when I come to it. But firstly, a huge thank you to the lovely people who have bought me coffees on Ko-fi after the last episode. I really appreciate it. All of the proceeds and any revenue from the podcast goes back into it. So getting equipment, buying prizes, that kind of thing. And also mentioning prizes. The Made by Mumino Thrifty MAL is in full swing, and there have been loads of wonderful entries over on Ravelry and on Instagram. You're welcome to enter by email as well, and all the details are down below. I also link anything that I talk about down below. I put chapters in so you can skip through, and also my social media, Instagram and so on, is down below too. So yes, I haven't given any more thought to the prizes yet. So far we've got 3 beautiful Liberty fabric bags that my mum really kindly made. So 3 beautiful project bags. I'll put a picture up here of them. Also, Nancy Wheeler of the Knit Zip Happy podcast. She's a prolific sock knitter and pattern designer, and she's very kindly offered some of her patterns to the winners as well. And there'll also be some yarn, but I haven't really given much thought to that yet. I'm thinking, as it's a thrifty MAL, I should really have a look at my stash as well and see if there's some beautiful single skeins or bits and pieces that I can give to the winners, see if there's something suitable. But yes, anyway, let's get started. I want to tell you about what I'm drinking. If you've seen one of these before, you may have done if you've been to Greece. This is a frappé, and my partner, although he was born here, he still is a Greek citizen, and we drink a lot of these in the summer. And you make these by putting freeze-dried coffee, so instant coffee. We use bog standard Nescafe, about a teaspoon, however much sugar you want. I have half a sugar. My partner has, I think he has 3 or 4. He's got a very sweet tooth. And then you use a milk frother and you froth up that little mixture with some water until the froth gets all the way up here. Drop in some ice cubes, top up the water a little bit, and then pour in some sort of heavy milk over the top. So it's traditional to use non-sweetened condensed milk, but my partner's lactose intolerant, so we use heavy oat milk, barista oat milk. So yes, very yummy and very nice on a hot day. Although it's a lot cooler today, which is so nice. It's been so hot the last few weeks, and today I think it's only about 22 degrees or something, which is wonderful. So anyway, that's what I'm drinking today. So grab yourself something nice and let's settle in and talk about some knitting. First of all, I must say a huge thank you to a couple of people who have very kindly gifted me patterns. So the first one is Susanne Hummel, which is who has gifted me the Zukunftsmusik hat, which I think means kind of like a pipe dream. I think that's what it means. And it's a beautiful cabled hat. I'll put up a I'll put up a picture here. It's really kind of her. Thank you so much if you're watching, Susan. That's really nice of you. I have just, in the spirit of the Thrifty MAL, I have just frogged one of my partner's Musselburghs. He's got so many of them. He must have about 20. I think I showed you all of them in a previous episode. But this one, it never fit quite right. The gauge was a little bit too tight. It's a DK rather than a fingering weight, which is normally what I use, and I seem to remember I just used the same size needles, which didn't really work, and it didn't quite fit. So I thought I will frog it and make something else out of it. So now we have a delicious cake of forbidden noodle yarn. I have no intention of washing it to make it straight. I really don't mind knitting with curly yarn, it's absolutely fine. But the pattern that Suzanne has gifted me is for a bulky weight, and I'm thinking I will probably have enough if I hold this with itself. So I think that's probably what I'll do, because it's a beautiful pattern, a really, really nice cable and textured design. So I think that might work out perfectly. The other person I must say thank you to, where is another Susan as well. My goodness, 2 Susans. I thought it was, but then I didn't trust myself. She has a pattern shop called Tea Cozy Folk, and she makes these adorable, whimsical tea cozies, and they are just lovely. She also makes does patterns for little egg cozies and all sorts of things. So she emailed me I think last week, and I really need to get back to her. I'm terrible about replying to emails. If you're waiting for a reply from me, I am so sorry. I see it, I read it, but it's usually when I'm doing something else, and then I totally forget to answer it because it's not in my main personal email. It's my sort of work email for the channel. So it just goes out of my mind. So I really do apologise. You are on my mind if you have emailed me. But yes, I can't decide what pattern to ask for because she said I can choose anything on the site. I'm very tempted by the axolotl. I'll put a little picture up here of it. But they are gorgeous. They're so whimsical. I really, really like them. And I do drink a lot of tea, so it kind of makes sense to have a tea cosy. Anyway, let's talk about what I am wearing today. So today I am wearing the Pier 39 tee by Isabel Kramer. And this was a test knit that I did for her, I think 2 years ago, something like that. And it's gorgeous. It's got this lovely boat neck, a saddle shoulder construction, little capped sleeves. Oh, you can see my tattoo there now. If you're interested, it's a little robin that I had done earlier on this year. He's very cute. But anyway, so yes, it's got a lovely saddle shoulder construction and the option to put in varying stripes all the way through. So I used the recommended 3.25 millimeters, and this is with a fingering weight yarn that I got from L'Anamore, which was, I think I used less than 2 skeins. Yes, I used 1.7 skeins of this, which is the lovely pink colour, and it's, I seem to remember it's an alpaca mix. I do have a slight intolerance to alpaca, so I do have to wear something underneath it, and I didn't know that I did before I bought this, but it's too pretty not to wear and I really like it, so I do wear a little vest top underneath it when I'm wearing it. The different multicoloured stripes, I'll put up a video here of me wearing it, are little minis from Bad Katu Yarns, and she's a dyer in the Netherlands that you often see at local yarn fairs, and she's always got these really cool colours, really interesting things going on. Yeah, so I love this top. I do wear it a lot in the summer, and I like that it's got these shorter sleeves and this kind of, I don't know, almost like a rectangular construction at the top. And it's perfect as it uses under 2 skeins. For my size, I would definitely knit another one of these, and I am tempted. I knit the 4th size, and I believe that there are 9 sizes altogether that go from 39 to just under 64 inches, or 97 to 159 centimetres. So it's nice and size inclusive, although it does recommend 17.5 centimetres of positive ease. Now the size that I knit, which is the 4th size, only gives me about 4 or 5 centimetres of positive ease, but to be honest, I think that's enough. I quite like it when it's a little bit more fitted up here, to be honest. But yeah, it's a cute little pattern, nice little bit of ribbing, bit of twisted ribbing, and I think the only thing that I changed on the pattern, did I write it in my notes? Yes, I did the Jenny Surprisingly Stretchy bind off for this, because for some reason I couldn't get the bind off to sort of stretch nicely, and I really don't know why. I don't know if it was the yarn, because I tried a standard bind off, I tried bind off using 2 needle sizes bigger, I tried an Icelandic bind off, and all of them were too tight, so I had to keep undoing it and redoing it, which was slightly irksome. So I ended up doing Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, which worked absolutely fine. So I'll put a link to a tutorial for it down below if you're interested in how to do it. But it's basically just putting yarn overs in between the cast off stitches, so it just creates a little bit more fabric and a little bit more give. Also, the problem I tend to have is I'm quite pear-shaped. I'm about 2 dress sizes larger on my bottom half than on my top half. So I tend to knit things quite cropped for that reason, because I find that then I don't have such a problem with a difference in size. I could put in increases along the sides underneath the arms, but to be honest, I find it easier just to make it cropped or to make a slightly stretchier bind off. So yeah, what else can I say about this? I used a jogless stripe method, but to be honest, because the stripes are so narrow, it wasn't really necessary. Yeah, there's nothing else to say about it. Just it's a really nice pattern, and I don't think you can really go wrong with Isabel Kramer. She writes really straightforward, nicely explained patterns with good links to tutorials for any techniques and things. So no, I'm a big fan of her patterns, and I've tested it for her quite a few times. So yes, I don't think there's anything else to say about it other than it's a very pretty pink and I love wearing it. I have a finished object to show you, and I'm so excited about this. It's done. It's blocked. It's my Mirkwood. It's so pretty. Look how that lace has opened up. Oh, I am in love with this. I'm absolutely in love with this. Right, what can I say about this? I knit the 3rd of 6 sizes. This is really super size inclusive. The sizes run from, I think I've got it here, from 102 to 187 centimetres, which I think is about 74 inches, something like that. And it's supposed to be a little bit oversized, and it was a joy to knit, an absolute joy to knit. So you start off at the back, you do some short rows in the lace pattern. That was a little bit more tricky, but just follow the pattern. I found it really, really helpful to put in stitch markers immediately for where those pattern repeats were going to be, so that I could see where I was in that lace repeat from the beginning. So yeah, I put in those little stitch markers straight away. So yes, you start at the back, you knit across the back, you knit down a little bit, and then you pick up the fronts, and then you knit down the fronts doing some increases, again all in the lace pattern before joining, and then knitting in the round all the way to the bottom. And as you can see, there's a lovely I-cord bind off. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen me doing some I-cord. I do not like doing I-cord. I find it really, really boring and such a faff. I don't know if it's because I'm a thrower when I knit rather than knitting continental style. So I'm not sure if it's that, but I know that there is a cordsmith tool on the market, and I'm very tempted to get one. If you've had experience using a cordsmith, I'd love to hear about it, because I don't do I-cord very often, but when I do, I find it I just find it boring, to be honest, but it's totally worth it. I love the look of an I-cord bind off. As you can see, you get this polished look without doing any ribbing, which is marvellous. Anyway, after you've done the body, you then pick up the sleeves, and there are no decreases in these lovely sleeves, so it has a very sort of elegant, ethereal look to it. And again, you're doing the same lace repeat all the way down before more I-cord on the ends for the cuffs. Now, I found this lace repeat super easy to memorise. After I'd done it through 2 or 3 times, I didn't need to look at the pattern anymore, it just stayed in my head. And I always marked out where my pattern repeats were, just in case I sort of got lost or whatever. Also, as it's a 4-row repeat, I put a bulb marker in at the beginning of each of those repeats, and then moved the marker up just so that I knew where I was if I put my knitting down or whatever. But yes, this is gorgeous. If I haven't already done so, I'll put up a little video of me modelling it, because it's much easier to show you a finished object in my hands rather than wearing it and trying to sort of move around and so on. So yeah, the yarn that I used for this I'll dig it out from underneath this pile of things that I've got to show you. The yarn that I used for this is Nellie and Eve Halo, which is a beautiful brushed British wool, and I have 2 skeins of this left. I think I only used 4 skeins altogether, and these are 50-gram skeins, so this is really light on the wool usage, which is fantastic. And you can see this is a natural plant dye, so there's these gorgeous blue bits that are slightly darker, and when they're knitted up, can I find one here? You can see one here. Got these like darker blue splodges and things. They do tone down a little bit after blocking. A little bit of the dye does come out in the blocking, not much, but a little bit. You can see some more on the back here as well. Some little darker blue splodges. I love it so much. But this yarn that's left over, it's an alternative to using a floofy yarn like mohair or alpaca, something like that, Surrey. And it's 50 grams is 235 meters. So this would be perfect for making a little lacy shawl or something. So I don't know, maybe I could give this away as one of the prizes, these leftovers, because that would make a lovely project for someone. What do you think? Would this make a good prize? I think it might do, actually, because it's really difficult to get hold of. She only makes them in small batches and tends to sell out really, really quickly. It's made in Wales, and Helen, she also has a podcast as well, so I really do recommend you go and check it out, because she also includes a lot of the life on her farm, looking after her sheep, things like that. So it really is delightful. So yeah, what do you think? I think this might make a good prize for the make along. So yeah, let me know what you think. But yes, this is a gorgeous pattern. It is a test knit, so it's not out. It's not available yet. But the deadline for the test knit, I think, is something like the 19th of August. So I imagine it won't be too long after that it'll be out. So I will remind you just before it is released. Oh, speaking of which, the wildflower tee that I showed you in the last episode, that's now available as a pattern as well from Eleanor Mortensen. So I'll link that down below too. But yes, I love this. It's beautiful. I can really see myself wearing this in summer evenings or during the day, that transition from spring, into spring, or into autumn. It's just really lovely. And yeah, the magic thing about blocking, it really shows up when you do cables or lace, because this I wish I'd taken a photograph of it before. It looks all kind of scrunched up and uneven, but as soon as it comes out of the water, it just all evens out and all opens up, and it just looks gorgeous, really beautiful. So yeah, this is the Mirkwood Pullover. Did I say the name of the designer? It's Ruth Wahlberg. She is a relatively new designer, and she's based in the Netherlands. And yeah, her patterns are just really inspired by the Lord of the Rings, hence Mirkwood, which is The Hobbit rather than Lord of the Rings, but same genre. And yeah, there's nothing else I can say about this. Oh, apart from this is entirely knit on 5mm needles. So she didn't really recommend a specific needle. I gauge swatched for it and I was happy with what I was getting for with a 5mm needle, which is a US 8. And yes, you use the same size needle for everything, which is marvellous. And I really enjoyed it. It was a really nice knit. So thank you so much, Ruth, if you're watching, for including me in the test. And yeah, I look forward to letting you know when the pattern's released. The next thing to show you is half a finished object. Shade your eyes. So I finished the first neon unicorn sock for my friend. So this one is done. This is an EU size 40-41, so I think that's a UK 8. So what would that be? A US 7, I think. And I did it slightly differently to how I normally do my socks. So I did a 72 stitch cast on with a 1x1 rib so that I could have room for this little unicorn chart. And thank you so much for your comments on the last episode. I don't think I will do duplicate stitch. To me, it's not super obvious that it's a unicorn. However, it can be a subversive hidden unicorn that only the true believers will see. So, also, I must say, if you can hear any background noises, there's some kids running around upstairs. But I'm sure you don't mind that. But anyway, yes, so I finished the first sock. The second sock has been cast on, but it's looking a bit pathetic. This will live in my handbag now. But yeah, I should say about the construction, I got distracted, sorry. I did a 72 stitch cast on so that I had room for this chart. So I drew up my own chart with some little stars and things, and I made it a 72 stitch purely because when you do colour work, it tends to have a lot less stretch to just normal stockinette, and I wanted my friend to be comfortable in her socks. So yeah, I did this 72 stitch here. And then after I did the heel flap and gusset, I reduced back down to 64 stitches so that the foot was a little bit tighter. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. They are loud and proud. I love gift knitting because it gives you such a good excuse to knit with yarns you wouldn't normally use. As you can see, my palette is quite muted. But it is fun to work with other yarns sometimes. So there's my socks. I've made a little bit of progress on the Musselburgh for my partner. This is using, it's not a lot to show you really, this is using a yarn from Hetvold Beast called Creepy Virginia, and it's yet another one to add to his collection of Musselburghs. So I'm using a 3.25mm needle for this. Other than that, I can't give you stitch numbers because it's a paid for pattern, but if you haven't come across the Musselburgh, it's possibly the best hat pattern I've come across, because you end up with this lovely tube that can be worn as a short scarf, or it can be folded double and worn as a double layer hat, which is what my partner normally does because he has no hair. So it keeps his little bald head warm. And yeah, he has a stack of them in all different colours for all occasions. So yes, a little bit of progress on my Musselburgh. The next thing to show you is a new cast on, and it's in my lovely Eldenwood project bag. I don't know why, this giant sheep face, it just always makes me smile. I bought it years ago. She does absolutely lovely designs, but unfortunately can't deliver to the EU anymore, which is very sad. But anyway, so you may remember seeing this in the last episode. This is 100% silk. It's made from the remnants from normal silk production, so it's a nice eco-friendly product. And the base is called Selkie, and it's from the WIP Yarn Company. And it's 480 metres per 100 grams, and I have the colourway Sparkle Butt, of course. Why wouldn't I? I couldn't resist. I really wanted to make myself a little vest top or a little tank top or something. So I was looking around and I found a really cool pattern called Helianthus, and it's by Andrea Gowan. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, so if you do know how she pronounces it, do write in the comments and let me know. But it just looked like a very easy, relaxed little tank to wear, and I thought this would be perfect for it. And you'll already know this if you follow me on Instagram. I did a gauge swatch. I very rarely gauge swatch, to be honest. Well, no, that's not true. I gauge swatch when it's the first time I've used a particular yarn base, or I'm doing a bottom-up garment, or I'm using a new to me base. So all of those things, check for this pattern. And I did this little gauge swatch. That is so cute. I started off, I'm so relieved I did a gauge swatch. So you see these little pearl bump rows. I started off on the recommended 3mm, which I think is a US 3, I think. And then I wasn't getting gauge. There were too few stitches per 10 centimetres. So I did a little pearl bump row. Then I went down to a 2.75 and it still wasn't right. Another pearl bump row and I went down to, 3, and then a 2.75. So 3.25, 3, 2.75. Oh my goodness. And I'm just about on gauge. I'm one stitch out on gauge for that. Now I'm not, this wasn't in the round, so it's not going to be exactly what I'm going to end up with. But I'm pretty happy with this, and I'm so relieved I did a gauge swatch, because that's 2 sizes smaller than the recommended needle size. And it's bottom up. It needs to be a little bit fitted because it's a tank. I can't have these straps and things, you know, flopping about, so it needs to fit. I'm so happy I did a gauge swatch. Yeah, so that is what I'm making. I'm going to make I'm making the 4th size. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sizes altogether, and it goes from, where are the sizes? Oh, where are they? Oh, it's all, there's no actual size guide on the Ravelry page because there's quite a detailed sizing chart, but I ended up going for something that's going to give me about 3-4 centimetres of negative ease, so that is the 4th size. But it's really, really size inclusive, so yeah, I don't have the numbers in front of me though. But I did my gauge swatch and I cast on, so there's not a lot to show you yet. There's some ribbing. And I need to do probably about 4 or 5 more rows of ribbing. But how cute is that? You can see what the colour's going to look like a lot better in the gauge swatch. I absolutely love Ross's colourways. This is going to be so nice to wear. So it's this lovely sort of grown up, creamy colour, but then these really cool flecks of pink and orange and things in there as well. And it feels gorgeous. I know this is going to be lovely to wear, and I'm really, really excited. I think this might use around 2 skeins altogether, but I've got 3 skeins just to be on the safe side. If I do have another complete skein left, I'm very tempted to order a contrasting colour, maybe a bright pink or something, or a bright orange, and make a stripy tank like the one in the sample. That would be really, really cool. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's see how this one works out first. So yes, that's going to be my main project, I think, for the next couple of weeks. I do have a couple of WIPs that are sitting waiting for me to look at. There's a long cardigan and there's a cable jumper, but I really want to wait to work on those until the weather has cooled down a bit. Okay, first the weaving. So I've woven up some of my handspun and I've made a little scarf. This is so soft and warm. I'm really happy with it. I haven't blocked this yet. It is important to block your weaving projects as well, but I haven't got around to it yet. So I made this on my Ashford Rigid Heddle loom. If you have a look at my Instagram, you can see me making it as well. This lighter colour is from Spingodden, who's a dyer in the Netherlands. And this is just a merino silk mix, and it feels gorgeous. Silk is very, very messy to spin in my opinion, so my mum made me this gorgeous great big cotton apron that I wear when I'm spinning, just to stop myself from getting plastered in floof. But yeah, this light grey here, this is the one from Spingodden. I deliberately spun this quite chunky because I knew I wanted to make a scarf out of it. And then I also had this darker grey, which is also a merino silk mix, but it doesn't have a maker's name on the label. I picked it up at a local craft fair, and I can't remember what shop I got it at. I did really try hard to find out, but I'm not sure. If I see them again, I'll definitely make a note of it. But I'm really, really happy with this. It's turned out to be, I think, just under, I don't know how long this is. 1m60, 1m70, something like that, I think. And I haven't tidied up the fringe yet. I'll probably knot that a little bit and make sure it's trimmed and all the same length. But I'm really happy with it. It's a nice project, and probably something that my partner will wear in the winter with a smart coat or whatever. It might just become a sort of household scarf that people grab when they're on their way out, which would be perfect. So that is a finished weaving project. The last thing to show you is some spinning. So I've been spinning up some BFL from Woolen Twine. And this is what I've done so far. And I suppose it's kind of for Tour de Fleece, but I'm not in a team or anything this year. I didn't want the pressure, to be honest. So I just wanted to do some spinning. And I'm trying to spin this up reasonably fine, and I'm pretty happy with what I'm getting so far. I'm going to chain ply each of these. I find it when I've got just 100 gram bumps or bats of fibre, it just works out really nicely because you always have the right amount to ply with itself. If you're not sure about chain plying, there's a fantastic Instagram account called Auspicious Stitch, and she posts loads of tutorials about how to do different things, so I'll link that down below. But yes, 200 grams done. Put those down. And I've got another 200 grams to go, but I think I might ply one of those this afternoon. It's good to let the freshly spun fibre rest for at least sort of 24 hours or so after you've spun it. And this one here has been sitting there for about 4 or 5 days. So I think I might ply that this afternoon. And if I do that, I'll put a little bit of footage of me doing it afterwards. And then I have these two beauties to spin up. These are gorgeous. So Hula of Wool and Twine, she makes beautiful plant dyed yarns, and they're usually custom bases. I think all of them are custom bases for her actually. She uses a really interesting variety of different fibres. And this fibre blend is called Heirloom, and it's 100% Exmoor Blueface, and it's 100 grams. I got this as a countdown calendar last year, and it's just beautiful, and I'm really enjoying spinning with this. It's drawing really nicely. Again, if you follow me on my Instagram, you can watch me spinning some of it. I am a relatively new spinner, and I don't use a particular technique that I can say, oh yes, I do this short draw, woolen spin, or whatever. I don't really know. I'm just doing what feels natural, and it seems to be working. So yes, spinning advice I cannot give other than go for it. So yeah, I'm going to do that over the next couple of weeks, and then start another weaving project to make a table runner and some placemats. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to talk to you about today. So in other chats, one of my sisters, I'm the eldest of 5 children, so I'm 44 if you're interested. And then there's 4 more in sort of 2-year age gaps going down to mid-30s. And both of my younger sisters have kids. One of them lives in the USA. She's got 3 boys. And my other sister lives in England, and her eldest is coming over to stay with me, which is absolutely fabulous. They are coming next Friday, and we are going to do loads of sightseeing. I'm going to take them to Cologne Cathedral and to Aachen. We'll go and find a nice schloss. Well, yeah, we're going to have a really good time, and I'm really looking forward to it. So in the next episode, there should be lots of footage of just general touristy stuff around this part of Germany, which would be nice, I suppose. But yes, if you live in this area, have you got any suggestions for things that I can take them to go and do? Or see or anything, because sometimes it's a bit difficult when you've lived somewhere for quite a long time to think, oh yeah, that's a really good sort of touristy or typically German or something like that thing to go and see or do. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to them arriving next week. They are only 14, and it's the first time they'll be flying alone. And I've got to go and take photo ID and meet them at the airport and have a handover from a member of staff, which is all going to be terribly exciting. But I'm really excited. And it'll be nice to have the excuse to get out and about and do some touristy stuff. So there we go. Maybe not so much knitting. Handbag knitting maybe. I imagine we'll be on trains a lot. But anyway, it's been lovely to chat with you for a little bit. Thank you so much for joining me again today. And I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks' time, hopefully with lots of touristy footage. So take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.